Okay, let me go straight across to our newsmaker of the moment, Dr. Farooq Abdullah, the former Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, joining me. Dr. Abdullah, Supreme Court dismissing a plea seeking sedition charges against you over your remarks after the abrogation of Article 370 of the Constitution. Do you see this as a major relief, or do you see it in the larger context that sedition itself as a law now needs to be re-looked at, reviewed and possibly scrapped?
I think I'm grateful to the honorable judges of the Supreme Court for having put aside the sedition case against me, and it will affect a number of people in this country who on various issues have not agreed with the government, and that was a very important judgment, and I think Government of India must take note of this judgment and must not use this sedition just as they have used in many cases, and they continue to use this. I think this is a breather for all of us in this nation, and are thrilled that our highest court continues to work for the betterment of this nation and for maintaining the Constitution of India.
Do you think, though, Dr. Abdullah, that there needs to be a clear line also given perhaps by the courts between what constitutes anti-government speech and anti-national? Should that be defined more clearly? The petition filed against you stated that on live TV you had said, "Ye property tumhare baap ki nahi hai." You will get Article 370 restored with the help of China. Do you believe there is a fine line between what is seen as anti-government and what is construed as anti-national or seditious?
I think I agree with you, Rajdeep. We should be very clear. Now, for instance, the farmers are protesting. All sorts of charges were leveled against them. They're anti-national, they're Khalistanis, they are everything but Indian. I think Government of India must rethink and very clearly think what is anti-national and what is national. Just because people oppose their various actions which are against the people, they should rethink 100 times.
You have no,
as to before leveling such charges on people.
But you have no regrets, Dr. Abdullah, about your own comments in the context of getting Article 370 restored with the help of China, which was seen, according to some, as seditious. That's what sparked off the controversy. Do you believe that those in public life need to be more careful about their comments in sensitive matters of security?
I think government has to be careful. When they did abrogate this thing, did they discuss with any one of us? No. They just brought a bill in the parliament without realizing what effect it will have on the people of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. So, you see, governments have to run and have to think of people's sentiments also. So if they don't think of people's sentiments, then how are they going to maintain unity of this nation?
So you don't think, I want this clear, you crossed any Lakshman Rekha when you brought in China in the Article 370 debate. Am I correct?
No, I don't think so. I don't think I have crossed any Rekhas. I am a nationalist, and that is no doubt about it. Those who have doubts about it, they must clear their own stand. I don't need their certificate for that.
You know, let me just go beyond your case. In recent times, sedition cases are being freely filed. They are filed against journalists, they are filed against activists, they are filed against political opponents. In that sense, do you believe we should look at abolishing sedition, Section 124A, like Britain did in 2009, ironically a colonial legacy of sedition? Do you believe the time has come for the courts to limit its use very clearly, to state what are the conditions under which FIRs can be filed under sedition, particularly what we've seen in the last few years with the current government?
I think the Government of India must rethink about it. Whether mistakes were made in the past or being made now, they can be corrected. And it's high time that we correct it. Look at what is happening in Mumbai. Hollywood directors and actors have been charged. And therefore now, because they just opposed the farmers' law that they passed, and now various raids are being committed on them. Well, this is not right. If you want to run this nation, run it the way the Constitution says it should be run. And these things should not be done to browbeat people. We are all part of this nation.
You know, sir, there were sedition cases filed when the UPA was in power. There are sedition cases now being filed with increasing numbers with the NDA in power. Has tolerance for dissent gone down? You've been in politics for 5 decades. Compared to when you started out, do you believe politicians and those in power are unwilling to accept criticism? Those who are in government don't want any criticism any longer? See it as seditious?
I think that is true. I think over the years, things have gone bad. Nobody wants to hear criticism. A healthy criticism is always good for the nation or for the people who are in power. They must know that if there is criticism, there must be something wrong, and they must look into it. We're not talking against the nation. We want to build a strong nation, a vibrant nation, a healthy nation, a healthy democracy. In this healthy democracy, you need a healthy criticism, which must be accepted and must be worked on. That is how governments keep themselves in right positions. Otherwise, if there is no criticism, you will go wrong. It's bound to happen when you have such majority. It is with such majority that you must remember that you have to think, how do we keep this nation together and how do we protect democracy and healthy criticism?
But why do you think governments are increasingly becoming more and more intolerant, whether at state or national level, to the point where the moment you criticize, someone out there will go and slap a sedition charge against you?
I think the lust for power, to hold power at all cost. Look at what BJP's top leader, the ex-chief minister of Himachal, Shanta Kumarji, has written in his book that he is now soon releasing about this party that he has been in. He has been a central minister. He says that they have become power hungry. They are now buying people, selling people, doing all sorts of things which are against democracy. I think I will request this government, please come back to the path of sanity. And power comes from the people. And that people need respect as much as the government needs respect. Therefore, don't do things which are going to destroy what is India.
You know, but all these are very fine words, Dr. Abdullah. The truth is, India out there is a very polarized nation. Either you are with me or against me. There is increasingly no middle ground left. So let's be clear. While you blame government for lack of tolerance, as a society have we become so polarized that criticism is increasingly interpreted as sedition, even by people out there. They are the ones who are filing these cases.
We have made them polarized. People were never polarized. It is for power you polarize people. You use religion. You use all sorts of things. That is what has changed India. Every election that I have seen has destroyed India rather than made India strong. Therefore, let us all rethink. Do we want to continue with polarization and destroy, or do we want to build a sensible nation, a tolerant nation? These may be words that you may say are easy to say, but everything is not so easy.
Sir,
to make it tolerant is not easy. Unless we all think together.
Let me ask you a slightly sensitive question then. As a Kashmiri Muslim, and as you say, a proud Indian, do you think you are particularly under siege every time you make a public statement? You make a public statement, it is interpreted at times as, secessionist, pro-Pakistani, or in your case, in this particular instance, you were accused of being pro-China. What will you tell those who say, look, you've got to be more careful?
Let me tell you. People can twist anything they want in their own favor. One must be clear in his mind what he is. And I know what I am. And therefore, they interpret anything they want to interpret. It's their wish. How can you change them? God knows what will happen. Look at what is happening in Bengal today. How? And this has to change. You must fight on what, when they say we're fighting on development, then fight on development.
Strong words there, Dr. Abdullah. You are very clearly against the manner in which you believe sedition laws have been misused. Appreciate your joining us as your newsmaker tonight. Let me widen